Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Viking Academy podcast. This week, we have Chad Jenkins visiting us again, and man, he has delivered once again incredible insights and thoughts in the area of quantum vision. And he gave me a new understanding of what he calls dimensional vision awareness. This is being able to see that everything is actually already created and to be able to take that and break it down into our reality. Now, in a previous podcast, him and I had talked about that before, but on this one, we go even deeper and he starts talking about how collaborations are the way of the future for creating all value in the world. And not only that, helping our children. Like, so when you talk about when you're a child and what happens to you as you become programmed over and over again to fit in convergent thinking, as opposed to having divergent thinking, is to be able to see the world and be expressive and creating yourself what you want in life. And, you know, for me, the Viking Academy, that's what this is all about, is for you to be able to break free and to creatively express yourself and to and live life with passion and purpose. And to do that, I find that you need to explore your mind, your body, and your spirit. And Chad actually gives us a whole bunch of very practical tips on how to get in touch with your mind, your spirit, and then how to enact that with your body through action to actually manifest the life you want for yourself. This is incredibly practical. It is very applicable to business and in personal life. I am going to listen to this podcast again because, again, Chad will start off the get-go and he will explain something and it will take a while for it to sink in. But that's because he's resonating at such a high level. But once you finally capture this, that collaborations is the way of the future, you will actually hopefully be as energized as I am. So there you go. Chad Jenkins coming up on the Viking Academy podcast. Let's go explore. Welcome back to the podcast, Chad.
It's my pleasure. I'm super excited to be back.
Man, the last one we did was with Stell.
Yes.
I'm going to have Stell on a separate podcast as well, so we can talk about his new book coming up and
Yes.
different rabbit hole. Very excited for him on that one too. But when you and I met again, and I was like, we got to follow up on this because it was like I felt like it was like we had just scratched the surface of this quantum vision. Just for the listener again, can you kind of bring us back up to speed in a summary format, if you can, from where we were at the last podcast and where we're going to go from here, and then where we're going from here? I have no idea where we're going, which is the funnest part, which is the exciting part for me. It's the exploring, right? So
just let it unfold.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
just a little bit of a summary. I talk about dimensional vision awareness, and I'll preface it with absolute zero education. I didn't read in a book. I can just feel it. And it won't argue that I just receive it. And so I am very, very interested in vision as a category. And I don't mean what you see outside. Where does it come from? And what are the different levels of visionaries? Both of us are very fortunate to sit in rooms with 50 plus entrepreneurs on a very consistent basis. And there's a wide variety based upon my work that I've done of the level of visionary that I experience. And that just continued to cause me to peel back the onion. And that's where I came up with dimensional vision awareness. And so quantum vision is a complement to it. For those of us who know more about quantum physics, particles, which we are all made of particles, all things are made of particles, are in all states at once, all at the same time, until it's viewed. So if that's true, to me, I would interpret that as all things are possible as they are existing already, and the level of vision that someone may possess could potentially correlate to the awareness. Now you can see dimensional vision awareness that they have with seeing a different dimension where that possibility, that state, it already exists.
Yes. That, for the listener there, you may want to go back and listen to that again. Again, you always come out of the gun, you come out shooting right away fire.
Mm.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm because we had such a deep conversation about it before, I can grasp exactly what you're talking about. It's all things everywhere, all at once,
Mhm.
happening all the time. And what you need is to see the possibility. And so having what do you call it? Dimensional vision awareness, being
Yes.
aware that there's multiple dimensions and having the vision to see that. So when you were talking about visionaries, let's just kind of step it back one. You're talking
Hmm.
about all these different entrepreneurs in the room, and mostly
Yes.
entrepreneurs are visionaries. I'm very much a visionary. When I see something, a new potential future for something, I get excited.
Very excited. Yes.
Process, forget it. New project, super excited. So I
Hmm.
see these opportunities. I go, oh, there's an opportunity to create something really neat, cool. Like I just had a coaching call with a accounting firm, and they were like, we created a new vision, a vision statement, a vision and mission statement for their company, but not the traditional vision and mission statement.
Right.
It sounds so canned and garbage.
They
It was
do.
like energizing and easy to digest and easy to think about. But we saw that and we created it. And so it was like we had that and it was already there. And I guess this is what you're talking about. It was already
It's
there.
already there. Yeah.
It was already there. All we did is we had to find it. We just had to
Hmm.
explore and see it. And so
Hmm.
this is that exploration part. And the other thing is I did the previous podcast was I did what's known as Odin's Roundtable. So there was three
Hmm.
master healers and myself and four of us. It just got launched. It was just it should have come out today actually when we we're
Ah, that's exciting.
and it was really exciting. And Tammy Grantham, a soul guide, she talks to angels. She said, "Why is abundant and joyful? How is fearful and and cramping? Like I'm gonna
Hmm.
get this wrong,
Yeah.
but the how is why it's so difficult to figure out the how." But she said, "No, just see it and say this is why I want it, and I love it." So what you're saying about seeing that it's already made gets rid of the worry about the how.
Indeed. Yeah.
Like
And
it
the
it,
how's
it
a
negates
and
it
the how's an
negates the
unlock.
how. Yeah.
Yeah, it negates the how. And I think we spoke of this last time. The vision that I'm talking about is the vision on the inside, not the conventional vision on the outside. People, when I say vision, they want to see with their eyeballs, and the eyeballs are just an inlet to where light goes in, and you interpret, of course, in your brain. But the vision's inside. The interpretation of it is inside. So close your eyes and tell me what you see. That's a little bit of what I'm alluding to. On a consistent all day long basis, I'm referred to different entrepreneurs around the world to help them understand the power of collaboration. Shortly after getting engaged, they know that they have never done anything by their lonesome self. It's all collaboration.
All of it.
So
All of it.
embracing that can also remove the friction of the how.
Because it comes back to the who, not how concept. The simple concept is who, not how. When you think of the who, you stop worrying about the how. And this again, this ties into what Tammy was saying is this how is fear.
Yes.
How is fear and
Hmm.
and contraction. And scare.
Hmm.
How is fear and scarcity? That's what she said.
Yes. Yes.
Scarcity. Why is joyful and abundant?
Hmm. Hmm.
And this is the whyness around it. And so it was interesting because this ties in to the conversation I had with my clients earlier today, creating this new vision for the company. And it was like, no, it's not about the client is the most important or the team member is the most important or the business is the most important. I said, it's a collaboration amongst all three. Success is shared.
It is definitely shared.
Was their ultimate why. They said, we believe success is shared
Hmm.
because it's a collaboration amongst these three parties, collaboration between the team members, the owners, and the clients. So
Yes.
with this trifecta, and it's a collaboration. And instantly, when I was on the coaching call, you popped into my head because I went,
Oh, well,
"This is exactly what Chad was talking about." He said, "Everything's collaboration."
everything's a collaboration. Everything. You have been uniquely and intentionally designed to create value in the world. But yet, that's not what people lead with when when you meet someone new and they say, "Well, what do you do?" "Oh, I'm a litigation attorney. I'm a plumber. I'm a financial advisor." No, you're not. Mm-mm. You might consider in the future, I create value by. Because the second you tell me how you're uniquely designed to create value in this whole wide world, you are just a puzzle piece of the entire fabric of this big old puzzle. But now I can understand how you fit in. And perhaps one of my weird shaped pieces have been longing to be connected to yours. That is the most natural and authentic version of collaboration. I create value by. Well, heck, when you tell me that, I don't have to worry about or try to figure out what a litigation attorney is. You could tell me that you're in pest control, but are you a small organization? Are you multinational? Are you franchise? Like there's so many other things. But if you lead with, I create value by. Now, there'll be a lot of other things. I was just on with a nice young lady from Strategic Coach who kicks way above her weight. I can't wait to see where she goes, or where she is going to end up, I should say. Sharing that with her in 3 different sentences, we finally got to, oh yeah, and she does it at Strategic Coach. We hadn't gotten to a role yet. And this is her just introducing the concept. The next time you meet someone, which she's just back from France, I think, or Paris for 2 weeks. So she met a lot of people. I said, if you would have used that then, who knows the opportunities that would have unveiled themselves, because you immediately provide somebody with your puzzle piece in a way in which they can understand it. It could be potentially they've been looking for that puzzle piece for quite a long time.
They've been looking for their person, their who, to help them, their who to do the how to help them get their vision, to
Correct.
help them, yeah, get your vision out in the world. And so you said reframe it as I create value by,
What do you do, Eric?
yeah.
And you respond, the way I create value is, or I create
Oh,
value by. You're telling me how you do what you do, because that is the secret sauce, not what you do.
so in my case, I would say I create value, excuse me, I create value by helping people remove blockers from blockers that are stopping them from expressing themselves fully,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which
I
is
love it.
coaching. Like that's
We,
for me, that's kind of my unique ability uh, statement. It's for me. That's what I've been constantly doing is what I want for me is I've been removing blockers so I can creatively express myself and enjoy my life.
mm-hmm.
Right. And so
Yeah.
what is needs to be moved out of the way and what needs to be discovered so that I can be truly my authentic self. So
Mm-hmm.
that the ethos of the Viking Academy is find out who you are, why you're here, and what you're here to do.
I
It's
love
all
it.
kind of tied into that, which is how does Eric, the puzzle piece known as Eric, how do I fit into it? I love how you
Yes.
frame that. That visual is awesome.
Mm-hmm. I would argue that this also stems from your constant question. This, I best I can tell, is so with Strategic Coach, which we're so involved with, unique ability is life changing. Understanding what your unique abilities are
Yeah.
and your unique ability is. The way you apply it is what I call your unique value contribution. So it's wonderful. I've figured out what my unique ability is. And the first question I ask is, now what? Then I've figured out the application of my unique ability, the way I create value in the world. And so it's like unique ability awareness, forward, how do I apply it? Before, where the heck did it come from? So before unique ability awareness, if I dig deeper on that, the best I can tell is we all receive a constant question that we've been asking in all environments, all relationships, and through all experiences since you're between 7 and 9 years old. That's when you receive it. And that does continue to drive all the uniqueness of Eric in this example. And you've been applying that for so long that it comes so naturally to you, but it definitely drives the way you are uniquely designed to create value in this world. Along the way, you pick up lots of parts and pieces and you combine it with your unique constant question. And then it evolves to be unveil your unique abilities. And then when you combine those all together and you're able to say, I create value by, or the way I create value is, that is your unique value contribution. When you get to that place of awareness of exactly the way that you are uniquely designed to create value in the world, you begin to see where your puzzle piece fits. So that vision, this dimensional vision awareness, I think really spawns from going deep inside to understand the answer to the questions. How was I uniquely designed to create value in the world? And if you look back, if you can anchor something to when you were 7, 8, or 9, and I would suggest 8, it seems like that is very, very consistent. Something happened. You became fully conscious. Of course, at 7, you elevated beyond theta brainwaves, and now you're fully conscious, and something comes to you. And you've been applying that. I'll give you an example. I understand what mine is, and it's the same question I've been asking since I was 8 years old. How can I take what I see and combine it with what I know and create value for someone else? That's what started 50 plus companies, and that's what has created over 600 collaborations, is me just getting very tuned into the way I was uniquely designed to create value back to the whole, or AKA the world, where my puzzle piece fits in.
And when you say that question came to you,
Yes.
you feel like that's the gift the universe gave us. It gave you that question to say, here's your not your cross to bear in life, because I hate that thought there. It's not a cross to bear. It's your driving force.
Yeah.
It's the thing that's actually motivating you to
Bingo.
engage in life. Is here's your question, and boom,
Execute on that, and you're connected to source. I
Yeah.
like what you said. It's your driving force, because when I'm doing that, and I have moved to, and we can talk a little bit about desirement. When I moved to desirement, I committed to only doing that. So this afternoon, at whatever time I'll leave to go to date night, it's Thursday, I'll go home with more energy than I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning with. And I wake up with a lot. I have a pretty wide open schedule from start to finish. And truly, I go home with more energy than I woke up with every day, because I'm doing the thing that creates the energy. Create being I receive it from wherever the heck it's coming from. And that's the way that I give it back and transfer it back into the whole, or I to the world. And it makes it so very easy for me to use that and have exactly where we started this conversation, dimensional vision awareness. I can fast forward the movie, and I can rewind the movie that somebody else is playing.
Oh, there's so much to unpack there. Okay. So with this gift that you were given, this energy, you said you've tied it into force, or tied it in back to source. You know when you're on it because it feeds you back. And we talked about this a lot before, which is like when
Yes,
you're
sir.
doing the thing, you're in your bliss, you're in your flow, you're in your unique ability, or shall we call it your unique value contribution? Because you can have a
Yes,
unique ability, not do anything with it, but
that's
when
right.
you're actually applying it, you're applying your unique value contribution, which is,
Yes.
I'm starting to really understand more of why that differentiation between that thing. And 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 that becomes the thing that you realize now you've plugged yourself into your purpose, your why. That's why you were brought here, is to do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
it becomes your purpose, it becomes your why, which is, for me, that has been my question from day one. So if I look back on that, for my question, the driver for me was, what am I here? Who am I? Why am I here? And what am I here to do?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
those three, that's it. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I here to do?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've been a constant
What does
state of
source
that.
call you? Right?
Yeah.
I understand what your name is because it says at the bottom left of the Zoom meeting, and I've known you for a minute, but that's not what source calls you. What does source call you? That'll take you a minute to uncover. You're not going to do it on the call, but
Joyful
that's
energy.
a fun one.
Joyful
That's
energy.
Yeah, I love it.
Like abundant, joyful energy. Again, I want
Mm-hmm.
to come back to all things great. My unique ability statement. Actually, for those of you that are not watching the video, we're shooting a video. I finally moved back downstairs into my office.
Yes. Welcome
And
back.
so, thank you. It's been 3.5 months of remediation work, and our
Wow.
HVAC system is finally working. It's great. We
Yes.
actually have cooling and heating. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I have my Viking shield, and I have my
Hmm.
axe, and I have my unique ability statement. It still has
There
to
it
go on
is.
the wall. And
Yes.
I consider this is like my mind, my body, and my body and my spirit, right? So
Hmm.
it sits up there to remind me, but I haven't put it up on there yet. But on my unique ability statement, which is behind me, it talks about my Viking intensity and playful energy.
Hmm.
And that's,
Hmm.
I think the source would call me, that's what source would call me is in, intense, playful energy.
Hmm.
Like that's when I'm in my zone, like that's it. Like
Hmm.
and just on the weekend, actually, we played a big concert like for 8,000 people in an outdoor festival. My band, I've never played for that many people in my life.
Wow. Congratulations.
Entertaining, and I was beating the crap out of the drums, and I was singing and entertaining 8,000 people. That was joyful, abundant Viking energy. That
Hmm.
was me, and I think that's what Source would say.
And that's what's transferring. If you when you're in that zone, when you're that connected, it's the energy that's transferring from you, not the words that are coming out. You're singing, sure, but the vibration was the transference of the energy that was flowing through you when you were in that particular zone.
Yes.
That's what the 8,000 people were feeling. They were responding to the audio, sure. They were probably singing along to the words as well, but it's a transference, I would argue, at a cellular level is what they're actually responding to internally.
And so, in your experience and
Hmm.
working and especially working with so many entrepreneurs, you talk to so many entrepreneurs all the time, and they're visionaries.
Hmm.
They have this vision, and so you can see clearly, and this is we totally resonate on this, that every person was brought here for a reason. They
Hmm.
all fit. They're
Absolutely.
like your puzzle piece. I love that. But I
Yeah.
believe that we're the only species on the planet that doesn't know why we're here. And that's
Hmm.
the adventure, is to actually figure it out, to go
That's the adventure.
explore it.
Yeah.
That's the adventure, is like
Yes.
you're born, your baby, you're like, wow, look at this place. It's amazing. Oh my God. And then you come here with all this abundant, joyful baby energy. And then all of a sudden you start getting layers of conditioning and programming on you, and
Yes.
crunch, crunch, crunch.
Yes.
And then all of
Yes.
a
Yes.
sudden
Yes.
it goes away. And I remember on our first podcast, you talked about that. You believe that it goes back to a younger age. It was at that
Yeah.
time, it was around 6. You figured it around 6. You figured
Yeah.
about 8 is when you got the download, but then you get layers of conditioning, and
Hmm.
we kind of forget it, or
We do.
we lose it. It gets forgotten. But then we can, if we are intentional about it, we are already desiring to go back there.
Yes.
For me that's been like a total frustration. Like in
Hmm.
my life is like I did a career as a chartered accountant, CPA,
Hmm.
build businesses, all, but I was feeling frustrated, like just
And empty.
like
Yes.
empty, and it wasn't
Empty.
fulfilling. And all of a sudden, when I'm doing something now, it's like I can feel my heart open up. It's like my heart opens up, and this energy just flows through me.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'm like excited for the future that I can help people build. And that's what I want. That's the thing I've been looking for. Like that little
Hmm.
kid that stood up and just like was like, let's go do this. Like, let's rally the troops and go have at her. So, but
Oh, that's
everybody
awesome.
has, not that specifically, but everybody has a calling
Absolutely.
that
Hmm.
they can't. So, what would you tell someone who is not sure what that is? Like, if they're sitting there going, well, here's Chad and Eric going, well, great guys, you found your thing and you're all super excited and you're all jazzed up,
Yeah.
but I'm sitting here
Yeah.
going, what the fuck do I do? Like,
Yeah. Even the application of it is still yet a journey. It truly is.
yeah,
I mentioned desirement earlier. I definitely live I have moved on to desirement after the last few years. To answer your question, I had no clue until I was quiet and I just listened. That's, I know this, you were potentially looking for some secret code or some special puzzle. There's not one. It's just be quiet, go inside, be super still, and be no time, no place, nowhere, nobody, no thing, with no agenda, no thoughts. It'll take you a while. 6 months, I started to make some traction. And still, every day I try. When I mentioned they're up earlier, and I typically wake up roughly 3 to 3:15, sometimes 3:33. That's an interesting number as well. And I just be quiet. The very first thing, gratitude. Thank you for letting me wake up. Of course, that's not promised or guaranteed. And then I do that until I run out of things to say thank you for. And then I sit there very quiet. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Not a lot of people want access to me unless you're from Dubai or Australia, And I try to make sure that my Zoom doesn't show them online at that time of morning. But as you do, you will start receiving little nuggets. Write them down. I use my Apple Notes. Anything ever happens to me, get to my Apple Notes. That is the skunk works. Because when I receive it, that's where it goes first, and then I chisel it over time. But just be still, be present. Presence is a word that, of course, is used so much. But if you really think about it, there's no past and there's no future. There's just right now. I can't make anything happen in the future. If I'm going to make it happen, I have to make it happen right now, which is actually very empowering when you really understand it. So if you're super quiet and just open-minded, be very, very much present in the moment. I find it so much easier to do between 3 and 5 a.m. on a daily basis. And I understand there's definitely something special about that particular time of the day, just in general. So that's what I would encourage you to do. But you could be quiet and still in no time, no place, nowhere, no thing, anywhere that you are, if you can just go inside.
So here's the interesting thing. You said, I know you're looking for a technique or a pillar, blah, blah, blah. You actually you just gave the listener an actual technique. And so that is the way is, is being still. It's meditation, being quiet and listening. That's one of the
Listening.
things that actually came up with the Odin's Roundtable, the healers, the master healers that I had on there. One of the things they said, we need to listen more. And that's exactly what you're talking about, is listening to that inner voice. But you need to quiet the brain down. You need to quiet all the noise that's happening to be able to hear it, because
Yes.
there's so much data and input right now with social media and all the
Yes.
AI. Like there's so much going on and so much input, and everybody seems to think, and I'd say everybody and myself get caught up into it, that you have to start grabbing and consuming everything to be able to be successful and to fulfill what's burning inside you. Well, the paradox is you actually need to stop,
Yes.
slow down, and turn it all off.
I think the term is human beings, not human doings.
Yes.
How do you just be?
Right.
Just be quiet and be. If it's true that we're just energy, and I would 100% totally agree with that, we are energy, then even just sitting still, you're emitting energy. So you're being, but if you be really quiet, you can receive, and you'll be surprised what you actually hear. It's all already inside. You have everything that you need to do and be whatever you would like to do and be. You just have to be quiet and understand that you have it.
And it's already all there.
Every bit of it's already there. You've been doing it, by the way. Even people that are super successful, I find they're giving away the secret sauce for free. They label themselves as some conventional industry term or maybe a pedigree that they got at university, and that's not who they are at all. But perhaps if they would turn around and look inside and understand the way that they were uniquely designed to create value in the world, because they've been doing it for a very long time, and give that a name and began to offer it, then their invoices would not look identical to the invoices that are down the street with a similar sign on the side of the building, albeit that's not why people do business with you. That's not what they're buying. They're buying the way that you do what you do, but you're not selling that. You're giving that away for free. And if I had to ask you, what are margins like in this pest control business, or as an attorney or even a doctor, they would tell me whatever the convention is. It's like, oh, you're selling the same thing everybody else is doing. You haven't graduated yet. To understand the way that you do what you do is the secret sauce. And perhaps you spend that little bit of time of being still, being very reflective, listening, beginning to hear, and then take it one step further and give it a name. So, and I think we might have chatted about this tool that came to me a couple years ago, and it's called Name the Baby. And it's just a clear awareness that every day in people's businesses, they create stuff. If they did that at home, the probability of them naming it 9 months before it even gets here becomes real is very high. But they create things in their way that they do what they do every day in their business. They don't give them a name. They turn to the person beside them or perhaps a client rattle off 9 or 10 bullet points of some perspective, projected value creation, and they're hoping the other person remembers or understands it. The second you give something a name, you empower everyone else to be an ambassador for you. Until you do that, they might remember parts and pieces of what you said, or they may not, but they will not tell anyone else. So the same applies to yourself, at least again in my experience. When I began to give something an identity, I cannot unsee it. A series of bullet points is very easy to do. When you give it a name, you can't unsee it. If you go and figure out your own private time, your personal time, all the time is yours. By the way, you have all the time you need. There is no time and space. But if you dedicate yourself to some kind of routine, whatever works for you, and just be quiet and listen, it'll come to you. It's already there. You just have to see it. Dimensional vision awareness is where we began. It exists already. You operating as that. The sign on the door, the invoice is going out. Perhaps you're an entrepreneur listening to this. The invoice is going out with the new name, with the new level of margin. Because, of course, if you've been doing it since you were 8, you've already invested in your cost of goods. Your margins will change when you embrace this. It already exists. Just go find it. And it's inside. It's not outside, though.
And this is where you talk about the ability to have the vision, the dimensional vision awareness, is that you find that we don't have, like, you can come in and look at something with a bit entrepreneur and you can see it. You can see it, but they can't, we can't see it. Like the individual can't see it. It's like, I have it on the Viking Academy website. Actually, it says, who you are is yelling so loudly, I can't hear a word you're saying. So because everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows that, but you don't. We're the only, like, again, it comes back to the species. We're the only ones that don't know who we are. Everybody else knows who we are, but we don't.
Yes.
The universe knows who I am, but I don't. It's like the world's worst kept secret. It's like we don't know who we are, but everybody else knows who we are.
Yes.
Everything and everywhere knows who we are and knows that we're fitting into the puzzle. We just haven't gotten the memo yet.
Yeah, you hadn't surrendered yet.
Yeah. Okay, surrendered.
You haven't surrendered yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
I can. We're all striving for it. You know, even Dan talks about all the entrepreneurs. He's got that little diagram. You're here and you're striving to get there. It's very interesting in the context as entrepreneur, and I get that, but I think it's way more human. And that wouldn't surprise me coming from Dan for sure, because he definitely gets downloads. And all humans are already there, but they're striving to get, they're already here and they're striving to get there. You surrender is like, oh, I am already there. You go inside and be quiet. And you begin to receive the awareness of where you already are and the capabilities that you already have and the unique way you were designed to create value in the world. And everything changes. The fulfillment, and it's not about money. Good Lord. It being lots and lots of companies and lots of houses and just all this material stuff. And it was completely empty, knowing that I absolutely was destined for more. And it wasn't to create yet one more company. But when I said, I'm not going to create any more companies, I'm going to take what I was given and I'm going to show up in the world to give it. And if it creates an outcome, I'm going to leverage this whole art of collaboration and we're going to split the outcome. Because I can do that all day long, every day. And again, I go home with more energy than I woke up with. Now I just want everyone else to operate with the same exact MO because they can. And if they were able to move into desirement, not retirement, then the life just continues to get better and better and bigger every day.
I was going to come back to that because I wrote down desirement and I wanted to circle back to that. So you said desirement versus retirement. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I stopped when one of those, I think it was on a Saturday, and I just began to write down, knowing that I'm not built for retirement, certainly not. What would I do if I didn't have to do anything? So I began on a Saturday, and I'd go back to the list a couple times over the next week. I just left it in my library. So every time I saw it, I'd look at the list and I'd write one more thing down. And after a week, or it might have been 2 weeks, I looked at the list. I said, what do these things represent? It's like, oh, these are all the things that I desire. So then I coined it. I wrote across the top, desirement. And I said, well, that's good. When I finally get there, the only thing that I'm going to do are things that I desire. And I've got a list. I'm ahead of schedule. And then a couple of weeks later, I looked at that list and I said, well, why the hell don't I do that right now? So I made another list. And these are things, or maybe I should have called you, Eric, because that is the way you uniquely create value in the world. You could have helped me remove all those obstacles that were preventing me from living in desirement.
Right.
And so I did do that. I put leadership teams in all my organizations. And yes, along the way, that was a little bit of a rough ride. I had a couple of folks that cost me lots and lots of money. And of course, I could have gone back to the old me and left desirement and not sacrifice that investment. But I said it specifically and intentionally. It was absolutely an investment. Because yes, it was a few $1,000,000 and we can make it up. We made it the first time. I didn't start with anything. And I didn't focus on that. I focused on the way that I uniquely was built to create value in the world. And I continue to do that. And doors just continue to open and I receive more energy and I can do it better. And tomorrow I'm going to have more energy and I'll even do it better. I'll see further, faster if I just continue to stay in this particular zone. So I moved into desirement.
I love that. I
Mm-hmm.
love desirement. And that that resonates with me so well. And the
Mm-hmm.
wonderful thing that I've seen about what you've been building so far with collab partners
Mm-hmm.
is it's not a traditional business.
Not at all.
It's not a
No.
traditional bit. You've created a new business. It's like a new model altogether, which is all built around your unique value contribution.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not doing it under like you're not doing a traditional building out coaches and programs
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Like it's you. It's like a full expression of Chad.
Most
I
authentic expression. Yes.
Yeah, your
That's what I'm
authentic
looking for.
expression of you, and it is you. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
it's so awesome to watch it unfold,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yes.
it's taken a while, just for mere mortals to catch
Yes.
up and grasp what you've been talking about and how
Mm-hmm.
it impacts your life and how we could apply it to our own lives. Because we sit in the workshops and I watch it. You get the microphone and you start sharing, and I see a lot of people kind of doing the dog, the golden retriever head tilt, like, "Huh?
Yeah.
What?"
Yeah.
And then they walk away and they're looking, thinking, what did he say? Like that then, it takes a while to soak it in, but when
Mm-hmm.
what you're talking about is such a purpose driven why, the why for you is it's you. It's not even a why. It's just
Mm-hmm.
you. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like
Being. We
it's
are
you
human beings.
you're being you've reached the level of human being.
Mm-hmm.
And by being the human that you were meant to be, you are creating so much more value in the world and it's feeding you all this energy. So at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
you're bouncing off the walls, but you
Yeah.
didn't do a traditional clock in delivery, this system, right?
No.
Like none
Mm-mm.
of that.
Mm-mm. Just show up and be you. But
Show
do
up
it with
and be.
intentionality. Yeah. If it's true that we're all energy and we're just an extension of the divine, that is the energy that basically it's filtered down into, we become this physical expression of it. When you move into the place that I now coin desirement and call desirement, I feel like you're in alignment with that. So energy just flows through you. Like many of the things that we talk about on this podcast, yeah, I've thought about a lot of stuff, sure, but the words that come out of my mouth are not rehearsed whatsoever. It just flows. Happens on every call. I don't have to rehearse. That's the thing. I don't have to, there are no study notes. There's no postcards here. Actually, I'm very kind of a clean freak. So there's no pieces of paper other than a gift card that an EOS implementer left for me for a massage at my favorite place, nice resort here. That's it. No paper.
Yeah.
You just be. But when you get in tune with the way you were uniquely designed to create value in the world, it can just flow through you. And it's such a wonderful place to be. Because whether it's here on this podcast or in front of thousands upon thousands of people, the only thing that I can do, and I said it earlier, is give what I have been given. And I'm not the only one. You're the same. Everyone else listening to this podcast is the same. It's all about showing up and give what you've been given. It's not about being a go-getter. Took me a long time to figure that out.
Yeah, a friend of mine actually shared this. We were camping this summer. We had the summer of fun. It was fantastic, like spending time with the daughter and my wife, and going camping and going to Europe, and like we really focused on just desirement. If you would think about that, we were in our desirement. We were like, let's spend time together. Part of that
Mm,
was going on these camping trips. And he said to me, and I hope I'm going to be able to quote this right: the meaning of life is to find your purpose, or is
hmm
to find your gift. The meaning of life
hmm
is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to share your gift.
Give it away. Yeah. And you cannot, you never had it if you can't give it, if you really think about it. And we both came into this world, and after a couple, I would say hours, because I'm optimistic, it might have not taken that long. If somebody didn't give us what they had been given, you and I would not be here.
Exactly. Exactly. This is very it parallels with the recovery movement and
Hmm
AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. It's like you you I cannot keep sobriety unless I give it away. Like if I'm not helping someone else, if I'm not
I love
helping.
that.
So I got
Yeah.
sponsees and a sponsee, then I'm like, I'm helping the next person. I go to meetings and I'm sharing openly, honestly about what
Yes.
happened, what it's like, and what happened and what it's like now, to share that with others, because you cannot keep it if unless you give it away. And the funny part is,
Wow.
and it says, the more you give away, the more you receive. And they said
Absolutely.
it's an endless gold mine, and this com never-ending abundance of energy and value that comes to you because you give it all away. And this is
Hmm
exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So if you elevate and apply it to entrepreneurialism, the structures, and I say plural because I have quite a few now, of helping entrepreneurs understand how to embrace collaboration, then sure enough, you can show up to give what you've been given. And when you do, if it causes an outcome in a business world, let's just answer one question. How are we going to split that outcome? That's it. I don't need to go and sell something. Just show up to give. I would, we're about to launch the VCR formula book at CoLabCon next month. And it's all of us have vision. Everyone listening to this has vision. They may not think that they do, they do. They have capabilities. They also have trusted relationships, people that trust them, and they have reach. If they show up and they're naturally curious of what happens if I extend my trusted relationships to Eric? Oh, it could actually add $2 million a year to Eric's business. Well, how would we split that outcome? And by the way, now that I'm thinking about it, how would I do that for Joey? And what about Julie? What about these ideas that I have if I were to share them with Doug? If it created any type of outcome, I have one question. How are we going to split that outcome? Can you fathom the amount of forward momentum and exponential growth that exists for every entrepreneur listening to this and every human on the planet if they began to shift their mind to this particular mindset, to embrace that they were made unique, just like their mother and father told them they are. And here's the unlock of how to activate it. Give it away and split the outcome.
It's so much easier because that's one of the things that, the people that I work with, and one of the businesses happens to be accounting firms. They hate
Hmm
sales. They don't like to sell.
Yeah,
They do.
that's
Oh
right.
my God, no. Well, nothing happens until someone sells something in business
Yeah,
to begin with.
this
But
is true.
but what you're talking about is a collaboration.
Yes.
It takes away the sales
Yeah,
component.
correct.
And
Yeah.
so it's even with they're talking to their clients, it's like, don't think of it as a client servant master relationship, which I can't stand. That's an old paradigm, an old dynamic, right? That we had this master servant relationship. It's like, no, we come together and you actually talk to your clients as if, no, we're collaborating together. Well, what do you mean? I said, well, we're collaborating. I'm going to bring my unique ability to the table. This is what I'm going to do to help you. And this is what we can do. If we can fix it, then you're collaborating with everybody all the time. But to
All the time.
reframe it and go, let's put it together to create something totally new and split the outcome. That's that you're not selling now. Now you're
I'm
just
not
looking
selling.
for opportunities to, what Julia Waller calls it, it's your unique, it's your channels. Like, how many channels do you have? Like, this is
Yeah.
another channel for your unique ability. right?
To be applied,
To be
to
applied,
contribute,
to
and to
contribute.
create
Yeah.
value.
Yes.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Your unique value contribution. Like, how can I contribute my value to this? So
Mhm.
when you're seeing people, you're like, okay, well, how can I contribute to them to help them? And you see it by
Ah,
connecting other
yeah.
people. So you take what you know, who you know,
Yeah.
combine
So
them
I have this
together.
thing called the creation code.
Okay.
The creation code. And it's 3 words. One could argue it's the IC3 formula: collect, combine, create. I would argue it's what really separates high performers from mediocre performers, and from an entrepreneurial standpoint, because it's, of course, the world that I live in. And it's also the further awareness is, okay, what's really happening here? I'm trying to figure out what happens between my ears and make it where other people can execute and create the similar outcome. I haven't been able to do that yet. For me, I see the emergent first. I mentioned that I can see the movie fast forward and rewind. So I see the emergent thing track back to what connections create the outcome. But here's another way anyone on this planet can do it. Every day that you're given breath, you're going to collect one of or all 4 of these things. The first one is relationships. You wake up tomorrow, you take a breath, take a shower, you leave, go to eat breakfast, go to a meeting, jump on a plane. You are going to create relationships. You also are going to receive awarenesses. It's going to happen. Happens every day. Along your way, you may have read a book. You might check out something on the plane. You may go to some website or check out a new AI engine. And now you have increased your knowledge. Lastly, you did take that trip and now you're back. You talked about playing 8,000 people or the camping trip over the summer. Those were all experiences. So tomorrow, you will collect relationships, awareness, knowledge, and experience. And to make it easy for everyone, if you take the first letter of all 4 of those, you can tell us what that spells, Mr. Eric.
Rake.
You got it. So if I were to look back at your calendar last week and I performed a raking,
Yeah, you did rake it.
looking for relationships, awareness, knowledge, and experience, I expect it would be bountiful. It's a whole week's worth of stuff. The difference is, and you mentioned it earlier, all I did was put context and frame around it. You combine it. All of those relationships that you picked up on and you began introduced to last week, if you don't do anything with them, they just kind of evaporate. But perhaps you take the action of one very, very powerful word, combine, which is part of collaboration. Every time I combine it with either who I know, which is alluding to what you talked about, what I know, or where I know, I create value for someone else every time. That's why it's called the creation code. It's unlimited, and every person on the planet has the exact same opportunity because they're going to have tomorrow relationships, awareness, knowledge, and experience show up in their life. I would just encourage them to combine it with who they know, what they know, or where they know, because even those 3 categories are unique to them. I can't do it, they can, but they have the same opportunity I do. And every time they run that program, every time they execute the IC3 formula, they collect, just be aware of it. How are you going to be aware? Be quiet. Use the rate method, write it down, sit with it. And then I encourage you to do one more thing, combine it with who you know, what you know, or where you know. And every time you do, you're going to create, and you likely have somebody to call. And that's you showing up with your own unique dimensional vision awareness, leveraging the components that have been given to you to turn around and give it to someone else and watch the doors open up for you.
And everything is already there in place. Like, I want to kind of
Already
come
here.
back to that quantum vision,
Awareness.
the awareness, the
No,
dimensional vision awareness.
dimensional. Yeah, yeah. It's already
Dimensional
there.
vision awareness is like it's already there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's easy. Like, so would you say it's simple but not easy, or easy but not simple?
Yes. Think of it like a radio station. Do you change to a new radio station and wait for the music to start playing, or is it already playing when you get there?
Well, it's already playing. So it's playing all the time. It's always there. All 24/7. DJ Jazzy Jeff, that's right. Here we go. We got
Hmm.
another good hit coming for you,
Hmm.
playing all the time.
Yes, it is. All possibilities are playing all the time. Which radio station are you tuned into? When you talk about frequencies, right, certainly that's a component, a big component of it. And if we're all energy, how does energy transfer based upon frequency? Therefore, if everything is already happened all at the same exact time, that means there's different radio stations I could tune into that I would then have the ability to experience exactly what I wanted to experience.
Right.
Which radio station are you tuned into? Are you operating at a lower frequency? So this calamity that you ran into this week, perhaps you got fired or you got in an accident. If you begin to think that way and you receive thoughts that way, because that's the radio station that you are tuned into, you should expect to attract others who are also listen to the same radio station. But as I be quiet and I go inside and I understand I've got everything that I already need, and this awareness of the way you were uniquely designed to create value in the world and you show up to give it, then you begin to change your own frequency. And you should absolutely expect that you begin to attract others that are also listening to that same radio station.
On a personal note, I've watched you for the time that we've known each other the last couple of years. I've seen you transforming. Like
Hmm.
you're physically transforming. You are
Hmm.
you are having way more clarity of vision and you're
Yes.
way more tapped in.
Hmm.
Like, and it's
Connected.
in it's connected. You are in it's been really inspiring.
Hmm.
Like when I saw you last couple weeks ago in Toronto, I walked in, I looked at it, I was like, holy crap, man, you look fantastic. Like
Thank you.
you're fitting into where you needed to be. You know what I mean? Like you're fitting into your
Yes.
shoes. Like you're going, okay, now I'm in the right clothes type thing.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
doing what I was made to do, created to do.
Right.
Hmm. And just show up to give it. It's so much fun. So much fun. So rewarding. So rewarding. Because you can actually see as you transfer that energy out into the world, you can see the ripple effect that it causes. And it's so much bigger than you as an individual perceive that you are, but you have so much more impact to give. And I think we all feel it. Surely you do feel it. You yearn to strive to get there. I'm here to tell you, just like Mr. Dan said, you're already here. You're there all at the same time. Just embrace it.
That's, I think, the biggest takeaway that I need to start living, not understanding my head, but under
Mm-mm.
living it in my heart, which is I'm already here.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make my here bigger. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, and that's the
Yes. Absolutely.
desirement. Like, it just, I'm already here, but I just want to make it bigger because I always like growing. It's for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's just growing. I don't have to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already there. It just happens to be known as here. And it
Yes.
takes all the pressure off like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the negative emotions and the negative energy of not feeling good enough, worthy enough. How am I going to do this? It's going to be hard work. Like for example, I had a conversation with coaching clients and they were
Mm-hmm.
talking about their staff and going, we want to help them grow. And I said, well, be careful of that word grow because people have a connotation in their head that growing pains happen. So when you
Mm-hmm.
grow, it's painful or
Mm-hmm.
growth takes a lot of hard effort. And
Mm-hmm.
right. And so it's that reframing of the way you look at the change, the way you look at the world that you look at changes. We talk about growth and go, for me, and I waffle, to be honest, I waffle
Yeah.
sometimes between the two. Sometimes growth to me is light and abundant and fun and it's
Yeah.
joyful. And other times growth is like, ugh, it's just not,
Mm-hmm.
it's heavy, it's thick, right?
Mm-hmm. You know what you're missing? A collaboration. You're trying to
Because
do too much of the how.
I'm
Yeah,
doing too much, and that comes back to the how part. Yeah.
the growing piece is inside. It's really get in touch with your most authentic expression. When you do that, you radiate more energy. You're actually growing means to impact with what you already have externally. You receive more energy when you do that. You're pushing more energy out. You're actually growing your impact into the world. And what are you doing? You're just being you. So if you feel friction, friction is a clear indication, ooh, there's a opportunity for collaboration here. Because this part that's causing me friction is what I don't do. I'm going to go back to doing what I do.
I need to find a new puzzle piece. I'm trying to
That's it.
I always, okay. So I love that. I love that. Okay. So friction is telling me I am trying to fit my puzzle piece into the wrong part of the puzzle.
Yes, sir. We'll go down a small road, and of course, it's recorded. So I don't know of anyone who can create me an idea. You receive ideas. Where do ideas come from? The imagination. What is the imagination? The divine. Awesome. So these ideas that come to me early in the morning, right after this podcast, driving to work, in the shower, and they just slip away because you don't have a mechanism to activate them. But sometimes those ideas hang around. And when those ideas hang around, they receive inputs, both internal from your unique value contribution and external from your environment. Well, as they become I would say, into focus, they form a vision. When vision elevates to a clarity level, we talked about that, it ignites emotion. When it does that, it spawns ambition. Ambition is immediately introduced to friction. Friction is an open door opportunity for collaboration. When you began to embrace the art of collaboration, knowing fundamentally, I've never done anything myself. As you think about it, I didn't really create this idea myself. I didn't form it into a vision myself, internal and external inputs. But the clarity of it has come into focus. I understand where I exist in the world. And all of a sudden, I have this ambition. I have this energy behind this idea. Uh-oh, here's friction. I can't do it. I don't have the training. I don't have the money. All of those things. It's a collaboration, 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 collaboration. When you really think about it, cash is nothing more than capability. The only thing you do with money is buy somebody else's vision. You can buy somebody else's capability. You can buy someone else's reach. I can go run ads on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok to get this idea out to millions and millions of people. Well, Facebook and TikTok, they're just reach partners. And I'm using a capability, cash, to do that. Well, if you're the one who has the idea, I can promise you today, as I sit here, capabilities and reach are awaiting vision to show up. Those ideas that you have that come to you in the shower, I would encourage you, and I mentioned earlier, stick it somewhere. Apple Notes is fine. But the way you're going to take any action on that idea that eventually, with clarity, input, external and internal, evolves to a vision, ignites ambition, is that you embrace the art of collaboration. Because you wouldn't be here if you hadn't already. It's just you've been doing it unintentionally. What happens when you intentional leverage the art of collaboration?
Then it goes like butter. It's smooth. It's like I feel the energy release as you're talking and expressing these concepts and ideas. I
Mhm.
feel layers of weight come off my shoulders. You know what I mean? Like
That's wonderful.
it's kind of like that. Oh, and it's
Mhm.
like, because I come up with all sorts of visions and ideas and I see it.
Mhm.
And then it's that the first thinking tool you come up with, which is the strategy circle, right? That Dan,
Mhm.
it's the first thinking tool was boom, here's the vision. And instantly you go obstacle, 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 which is friction, 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 friction,
That's
friction.
right.
I can't because this. And that's just all the raw material that shows you the
The
path.
way.
That
The
shows you
way.
the way. So like Ryan Holiday's, the obstacle is the way, the
Yeah.
stoic book that he wrote, the
Yes.
obstacle is the way, but it's not that I need to fix the obstacle. That's where the heaviness comes to me, is going, no, this is the universe telling me, here's the way.
Give it away.
You are not the one to do the way.
That's correct. You're not the one. I didn't make you for that.
I did. Yeah.
I being, of
You're
course,
not.
not me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
creator,
Yeah.
source. You weren't made for that. You were made for what you've already done. You've already done the work. You came up with the idea, you formed it. Now give it away. The only thing you can do in life is give what you've been given. Case in point, when you don't give it, it gets taken from you. The idea goes bye-bye. You see it on a commercial 3 years from now. Somebody's doing $6 million a year, going to 60. And you're like, damn it, I had that idea 3 years ago. You know the difference between you and the person that the commercial is being ran for? They combined it. We've already talked about that with someone else who had the capabilities. And then eventually they combined it with somebody else who had reach, and it created the commercial. These things we receive, I would argue specifically that we receive them from the divine. They come through imagination, sure. Create your own process. You don't have to follow mine. Just be intentional about it. Give it away.
It's starting to seep in. You could probably see me kind of going,
Mhm.
and there's like these little mini light bulbs that are going off, right? It's the thought that I have to do it can
Mhm.
become paralyzing and
Every
become
time I would say, yes,
stressful.
sir.
Yeah, it's paralyzing. I have to do it. It's a lot of like, but even if you think about this, for example, my septic field in the back,
Mhm.
we got a piece of acreage there, and I got a septic field down there. And septic guys came in. We got to go service it, and I went, "Oh, okay, it's down there." And they're like, "Where's the access points?" And I went, "I don't know, down there." And they're like, "It's 6 foot high blackberry bushes and poor growth." And I went,
Yeah.
"No one told me to clear that." And I'm like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Dude, I got to clear that before you can get down there." So yesterday, I actually spent 4 hours,
Oh,
four
goodness me.
hours
Right.
bucking and hacking it away and doing all that stuff, right? I
Well,
went, this has to be done. So I buckled up and I went down to do it. But if I
sure.
take what you're talking about, is if I look at it differently and say, doing that was actually a collaboration as well,
Indeed.
internal collaboration in terms of my physical body. I don't beat my heart. My heart beats itself. And
Indeed.
it is beating and it's putting blood out to the veins, and my arms are all beating the
Yeah.
check that out.
Yeah.
That's
I can see
nasty,
the
right?
road
The
rash.
scratches
Wow.
all over. That's
Look
from
at
the
that.
I didn't wear long sleeves because
Yeah.
crazy Viking. It was
Why
warm
would
here.
we do that? Yeah.
Well, why would you do that? But it's like a collaboration. So I physically was doing it, but if I don't think of it as me doing it, as more of a collaboration of all the parts that makes the physical framework of Eric, that resides here,
It's a meat suit.
the meat suit, the matter that's here, it's all a collaboration. And
Correct.
I had the vision was given to me, which is a
Mm-hmm.
collaboration from the divine, was,
Mm-hmm.
hey, Eric, go clear that up so that you can achieve the goal of getting your septic field cleared up. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a collaboration too, because the creator said, you don't have
Mm-hmm.
time to find someone to do it. Go strap on your boots and go do it.
This is my crazy thinking. Everything you said is 100% true, but it's a friction, right? I have a septic field. It needs to be cleared so they can get to it. Well, how many indirectly created leads do you think the septic tank field man creates for the bush hogging or land clearing guy,
Yeah.
maybe the little guys who just started a landscape company in your neighborhood, that would love that if they would give what they had been given away, but they don't do that. It's a friction. Oh, we'll come back in a week when you've got it all cleared out. They just spent 200 or 300 or $500 driving out there. All of this are ideas. These are frictions that are showing up to each and every one of us as open door opportunity for collaborations to create value for others. Most of us are not even paying attention. But yet they'll leave this meeting, they'll leave this call, they'll leave listening to this podcast, and they'll go across the hall to a sales meeting to talk about generating revenue. I don't understand it. Not yet. But it's good job security.
Oh, wow. Good job security till it isn't, right?
Mm.
Like, but there just so there, see, there's the way your mind works. And I just love that. It's like, I didn't see that, but I
Mm.
went down there and cleared that up. But I would have paid someone to go down there to clear that up.
100%. And
If he
he
had
would have read you more
collaborated,
value. Yes.
if he had collaborated with someone who clears out and does the bush
Yeah.
clearing
Yeah.
in the rack,
Yeah.
he would have said, "Oh, no
Yeah.
problem, Eric. I have my guy. He'll and I don't what? Yeah, my guy will come in and clear it right out for you."
Hey, we run into it all the time.
You run
So
into it
much
all the
so
time.
that I created a collaboration. Joe's Landscaping commits and guarantees that he'll be with here within 12 hours before you can even get somebody else to give you a quote. How big of an area is it? Oh, it costs you $500.
Yeah,
Why? Because 500 is the default. Now the guy with the septic tank company is picking up 10, 15 points on that.
right.
Do you think he's going to potentially see that opportunity again this week? There's 52 weeks in a year. You can do the quick math on exactly what low-hanging fruit revenue is being presented to him that he's not taking advantage of, because he would tell you, I don't own a tractor. We can't keep staff what we have now. How would I go and clear this out for the people that need it? He's asking the wrong question.
Yeah, he should be asking who can I collaborate with who
Who's waiting
already
on this
has
lead?
that unique ability, who does that unique value contribution to this specific area.
Yeah. If this spawns a trajectory pivot to anyone who's listened to the podcast, fast forward and just think what happens whenever you, in example, show up to give what you've been given and you do it as a mindset, as the way you operate and exist in the world. Changes the whole game.
Then it becomes a game. Do you know what I mean? Then it becomes
I
fun
do.
and a game and an exploration. And it's this,
Hmm.
oh, and I love this because this is like Viking Academy ethos. You are constantly exploring to
Hmm.
discover new ways of collaborating with others
Hmm.
so that you
And
can,
the only way you can do is give what you've been given. Those
yeah,
are two secret
and
things.
that's your
That's it.
part. You come and you give your part. So you're constantly, so when you're sitting in a room and you're looking, like, how can I contribute my unique value contribution to the people that I'm connecting to, the relationships I'm collecting
Yeah. Yeah.
in the room? You're collecting the relationships, going, okay, who can I add my unique value contribution to
Yeah.
as a
When,
collaboration?
and then you, there's another level when you begin to really operate this particular way. And I said it earlier, you can fast forward not only your movie, you can fast forward others' movies. In the room, I'm sitting in, to your point, I sit there and look around and I'm running programs that see everyone combining with everyone and I see the emergent first. So sometimes I sit there and say, what are we talking about? Because we could be talking about something that's just no one in here's yet seen this. They're using the words collaboration because I didn't know that this is what I was doing for the first quite a few years of my life until I got to Free Zone and they say collaboration. They explain it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing that since I was 8 years old. Now I have a word for it. And then I wrote down, I wonder if I can create an organization that builds collaborations, that's built on collaboration and make it go global. That's what the collab is. It's a global entrepreneurial collaboration. Your secret sauce combined with my secret sauce creates magic. Now let's just do it again. How many competitors do we have when we have that? When that happens? Goose egg, zero competitors. What's the conventional margins on that? Whatever we want them to be, because there's no competition.
Yeah, you get to make the playing field. It's like, well, someone says, well, what should the split be on this? It's like, there's no standard split. It's
No.
like, it's funny because I was in the world of, and our good friend Dean Jackson, like
Yes.
his world, his marketing world, and I came from Jeff Walker, which
Hmm.
is a friend knows Dean, and anyways,
Oh.
I was in that marketing world, right? And that's where I
Hmm.
first came up with the accountant success formula, and
Hmm.
their big thing was is doing these launches, but then you also get partners, and I can't the joint venture. So it would
Yeah.
be a joint venture. So someone would always do their reach. So they were the reach
Hmm.
partner. They
Hmm.
would send it out to their list and say, hey,
Yes.
Jeff's got this program. And boom, the standard split was a 50-50. Like that
Oh,
was
wow. There
I
you
think
go.
that's a standard 50-50 split. It was
Feels a little
always there.
aggressive, but okay.
Yeah, I
You know,
know. But basically because they're digital products. So there's no increased cost, there's no cogs
gotcha.
involved, right?
Gotcha.
So
There's no
it was
cogs. That
easy
makes
enough. And
sense.
them going, you know what? I could have 100% of nothing, or I
Yeah.
could get 50% of a whole bunch more over here. They win, I get a new set of clients like on
Yes.
my email list who I then
That's right.
becomes an asset and I can grow it. And you also get money from and you monetize your list. Maybe they haven't bought anything from you, but your email list is now creating some value for you. So it was like
Bingo.
it was this beautiful collaboration that worked around. And so that was kind
Yes,
of
it
like the
was.
standard fare.
Yes.
But now all these new collaborations or new ways of doing it, they're just catching up to the old school digital marketing collaboration.
Now
You think
turn
about
around and go much further backwards.
it. Yeah.
When we decided that we didn't really like this whole food chain positioning that we had, we wanted to get out of it. How do we do it? We don't run that fast. We're not that strong. An adolescent chimpanzee could just pull our arms off, no problem. In the teenage years, not even. Collaboration. When I figured out that I could buddy up with Eric, we could collaborate. He could keep a watch. I would hold the stick. Whenever he ran through the bushes, the animal went the other way, and we didn't get eaten by the lions and tigers. We ate them. Changed the whole game. But along the way, we were trained to compete, starting, I would argue as well, about the third grade. We get politely massaged into convergent thinking and less about divergent thinking. And we get introduced to competition. But it is in our bones, in our DNA, from chaos all the way to civilization. Civilization was collaboration. So it's not an evolution to as much as it is a return to the building blocks of humanity to collaborate.
Can you please go? You just said something there. It was convergent thinking as opposed to
Divergent. You think about it, when you were young, if you walked out, let's say 6, 7, 8, and you just walked, I told you to go play in the yard. I doubt they ever do that anymore, but they did when I was a kid. And you took your little green army men. Did they run up and down that hill? Were they firing from the other side on top of the brain? Yes, they were. They absolutely were. Was the little girl drinking tea? It was real tea to her. But then you get to along about the third grade, and you and I both need to make the same score on the math test. It's 100. That's winning. Anything less than 100, I'm not as adequate as Eric is. But then in English, I crush it and you're 85. But we continue to operate independently versus combining us together and letting the way you understand it, osmosis transfer over to me because you are my peer and I can kind of see it the same way that you see it. I can't understand it the way that she's telling me, but I'm left on an island to kind of figure out I need to study more. I need to go and do some more practice guides. When if you just put me and Eric together, his English takes a big jump and my math, I got it now. I can understand how to do this. And we both begin to excel when we combine. We don't do that though. Oh, and then we go to college. And now let's fight for whoever's going to get the position at the investment bank, who's got a better score. So he's going to do a more civic duty versus trying to figure out exactly what they told us as a kid. Eric, you were made unique. There's only one Eric in the whole wide world. There's ever only going to be one of you. They didn't tell us how to activate it. And it's in our DNA, I would argue, the building blocks of humanity. That's how to activate it. You show up and you give it and you contribute it to someone else and they do the same to you and magic happens. And you're both able to split that outcome. So you leverage that divergent thinking of the application of you and your uniqueness to figure out what happens when you combine it with someone else. When you do the triple play, and there's many entrepreneurs in Mr. Dan's triple play as strategic coach, and there's quite a few that say, I just don't get this. I really hate doing this. What if they started in the third grade? Not convergent thinking, but divergent thinking. And they continued being able to see, close their eyes and see, or even with their eyes wide open, see those little army men shooting guns and overtaking the hill and then sitting down and having tea with that other princess. What happens then when you think at that level of imagination? It's happening to you today. You don't have a mechanism or a formula to take action. You're being met with friction, and we don't know what to do about it. So the idea gets away. 3 years later, you see it on a commercial. You're like, wow, that was my idea once. If I would only combined it and collaborated with someone else.
How do you think I love this because I'm looking at and thinking about my daughter. She's 13 and we've been trying to promote her unique ability, unique value contribution, like what she's here. And she's a powerhouse. It's a kid's crazy. Like she's got so much energy. No idea where she gets it from.
No clue.
None whatsoever.
No clue.
But when you look at kids and so where everything's going, I've often sensed that we need a complete overhaul in our, well, let's take a step back. I believe humanity needs we need an upgrade to our software system. I think we're working on old programming. I like this. I've been really thinking about this more and more as of it. We've been programmed. We've been programmed when we need to upgrade we need to upgrade our programming, right?
Yeah. Is that flashed?
Yeah. Yeah. Like we need a hard drive reset. And so like, how do you see, it is, how do you see it happening at that level, the younger age and in allowing, because I'm really seeing now how your CoLAB, the whole thing you're building is not just about building business. And it's like, it's a methodology by changing the consciousness of humanity.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I have a new book I'm working on. It's called The Collaboration Code. I absolutely expect it will be required reading in the future. It'll launch in February at Free Zone Summit out in California, because I'm presenting CoLab there. And we'll launch the collaboration code. So it's already begun. I've trademarked the idea economy not too very long ago. And it's the awareness that when the perception of value is upon the completion of a task, when that evaporates, what's left? What's between your ears? Your ideas. Where do they come from? Your imagination. What is the imagination? The divine. Whenever you are now able to take action on an idea that you have, and this happens to me quite often in the sauna, I'll have an idea, and I, of course, have my phone. It'll only overheat after you're about 27 minutes at 185 degrees. It'll say no moss for a minute. As long as you put it in a towel, it'll cool back down. But I take action by taking that idea to Collabra, which is what I originally named Chat GPT's enhanced voice. Once again, name the baby. You give it a name, I can't unsee it. I bake it into my fabric. I talk to it every day. So I take it to Collabra and say, I've been thinking about this idea. And I start getting immediate feedback from it. Well, by the time sometimes I get out of the sauna or the steam room, there's a website, there's a manifesto, there's a user guide, all of it created. And that goes into a folder where my team can take action. That used to take 6 to 8 weeks or maybe even a quarter to get to where I have, and I haven't even left the gym yet. What happens to the time that was used for all those different types of employee types that would have created that outcome that I have arrived at before I leave the gym? Well, for a period of time, they're not going to have anything to do. They're going to have more time to do what? Think, to be quiet and receive. We're moving into the idea economy where you get paid for your thoughts, not what your back will do. That's going to produce time. I'll tell you, at my organizations, I created something called My AI. And it really has nothing to do with AI other than we're leveraging AI to free up time. You can submit any idea about any application that has just been launched that leverages AI. And you can submit to, we have a simple little form. If we do this, it costs this much. It's going to create this much time over this period. We typically evaluate over the first 90 days, 1 hour a week. When it gets approved, you have to budget 1 hour a week for the next 12 weeks to sit in a room with other people who have also had ideas to implement AI and who have generated time. We basically manufactured time. What are we going to do with that time? We're going to be together. We're going to combine each other, and we're going to come up with some ideas that we can take action on. So I'm facilitating the embracement of the idea economy, not by creating fear that AI is going to come and take your job. It's going to tend to take the conventional way that your job or your title creates value. That's 100% true. But if we take that time to be intentional about it, just to get back to our roots, to be human beings and also to be together. So this My AI time, that's the way that we're leveraging it. And we're seeing exponential innovation come from everyone who is already on the team. Before that time, you know what they were busy doing? Stuff, task, sometimes rudimentary recurring task. And they had all that innovation. I'll give you another one to think about. You can see in the paper about any given day about the hundreds of billions of dollars that are being invested for NVIDIA chips to create artificial intelligence. There's not a person on the planet other than the CoLab that I know of that's trying to position all of these NVIDIA chips on steroids that exist between our ears in alignment and together. That's what the CoLab is. Your uniqueness, your battery, your minus, my plus, my minus, somebody else's plus. When you put all those brains together and you let them participate in the outcome, oh my goodness, what's going to happen then? But we need time to think and we need time to be.
I love how you've framed that AI is going to free up the time so that we can actually use our imagination, because I've been ruminating on this for quite some time and trying to explain it to the people that I coach and the businesses that I work with. And I said, AI is going to help you so much. It's going to free you up to be more more imagination.
Yes.
And our good friend Krista Clive Smith, she said the business brand, the business model of the future is your personal brand.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
That's just 100%. Like, it's beautiful because it's humanity and who you are and how you interact with your social fabric and your group is the value that's coming to the table. It's not these mundane, repetitive tasks that are just
Oh,
life sucking, right? And
yes.
that you like, we can get out of the industrial, we can get out of the factories and be
The
on the
task
assembly
economy.
line, right?
Yeah.
And open
Yes.
up and start accessing the computer that's in our, and the computer that's in our mind that's connected to source, that can
Mhm.
create and has all this imagination. And then again, if we can, and if you can keep going the way you're going, Chad, and then have people see and have that dimensional, what
Vision,
dimensional
awareness.
vision awareness
Yeah.
that everything is already there
Hmm.
and we are downloading it from the divine and combining it with others'
Hmm.
unique value contributions to make it manifest itself, but it's already
Yes.
there. It's
It's
just
already
you're
there.
connecting the pieces together. So the frequency will be in alignment when you connect me and you and say Dean Jackson, you,
Yes.
me and Dean Jackson. When we connect together, instantly the radio frequency goes zip and it
Yep.
hits exactly to the thing that's already been created and it's
Yes.
already there for us and it manifests itself.
And it only happens when you combine. It doesn't happen otherwise. You are individual. You're just energy radiating. Magic happens when you combine. Start combining. Show up to give what you've been given. Leverage the art of collaboration to how you split the outcome of whatever comes out the top. Think of that little commercial. When we were kids, there were, I think, two types of toothpaste. When you squeezed it, it came out the top and it was different. You're like, oh, I mean, you're a kid.
Yeah,
That's the magic. We can do it today. We're doing it currently, by the way. I can do this without you, and you can't do it without me. It
exactly.
doesn't exist until we combine.
I think that's a perfect spot to put a button on this part
Yes,
of our conversation, which is a continuing conversation, which we will continue more into the future because
sure.
I am now seeing the vision way more clearly on what you're creating and what you're doing and the
Or what I
impact, the
see.
ripple,
Yeah,
what it's going to be, what you see,
what I see.
what
Yeah.
you see.
All I have to do is bring vision clarity to a level so that more have dimensional vision awareness and it collapses into this dimension. It already exists.
Right,
It already exists. Mhm. So much fun. Happens every day. It's
man.
happening all around us. What level of intentionality are you applying to see it, embrace it, and then control? Just, and all you have to do is be you. So much fun.
That's awesome, man. Listeners, I think you're going to have to go back and listen to this one again because I will. Chad, thank you so much for being on the podcast again, brother.
Always a pleasure. Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Viking Academy podcast. Make sure to leave us your honest feedback by leaving a review on Apple or Spotify and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode.